If you're a law enforcement officer or other first responder or military veteran trying to figure out what's next in your career, I want you to know two quick things. First, you're not alone. And second, the job market in 2025 is no joke. Let's talk about it. Hello, Hero, and welcome to the Recruiting Hero Show. My name is Colin Whittington, and I am your host. I'm also the CEO and founder of Recruiting Heroes LLC, a national employment agency dedicated to helping you, America's law enforcement officers and military veterans, find meaningful careers in after your years of service. Over the past 2.5 years, we have helped over 700 heroes make successful transitions and find incredible success in a variety of industries in the private sector. Today, I'm excited to give away my Heroes Job Search Guide, a fantastic resource to help you with your own career transition. This guide is packed full of vital information and it's entirely for free. So click on the link in the description of this video or visit recruitingheroesllc.com to download your free copy. So let's talk about the current job market. I can pretty much sum it up in two short words. It sucks. Right now, the average corporate job opening in America is receiving around or actually over 250 applications. This means that for pretty much every job out there that you could apply for, you would be competing against at least 249 other candidates, and many times way more than that. Because of the competitive nature of this job market, the average job seeker in America is currently spending over 6 months looking for a role before finding success. To add to their frustrations, most of the applications these candidates are submitting are not ever seen by a real person, and they're disqualified before even getting looked at. That's because most companies nowadays are using something called applicant tracking systems. I'm sure you've heard of them before. They're also referred to as ATS. And they're used to filter out resumes before they even reach a recruiter or hiring manager. These systems are scanning resumes and comparing them to the job description. The system then gives each candidate a percentage score and ranks them from closest match to least closest match. Recruiters, who are pretty much always paid on commission and on when they successfully make a hire or a placement, are striving to find the right candidate as quickly as possible. How likely do you think it is that a recruiter will read through all 250 applications they receive for a role when they are also working on 10 to 20 or more other roles at the same time? Very unlikely. Because of that, over 75% of resumes submitted are actually screened out before human eyes ever take a look at them. So, if you're just uploading your resume and hoping for the best, you could be waiting for a very, very long time. And when your resume is seen, you pretty much only have about 7.4 seconds to impress the reader. That's 7 seconds. That's it. And that's what a 2023 study showed was the average amount of time recruiters are looking at resumes before deciding whether to continue with that candidate or disqualify them from the process. All that being said, it definitely feels like the current system is stacked against most job seekers. And for those of us coming from law enforcement or the military, that transition can feel even harder than it is for other candidates. But here's the good news. You can beat the system and you can work with the system with the right tools, strategy, and support. First, you need to do your homework. Research the industries and roles you're interested in and are hoping to pursue after your years of service. Figure out what hiring managers are actually looking for and how your experience translates towards those roles. Go to a wide variety of job boards and look up jobs in your desired industry. You can even search by skills or interests you have to see what comes up. Read through the job boards and start looking at what companies are actually searching for. Then ask yourself a couple of things. Do I need any additional experience, certifications, or trainings to make myself competitive? Do I need to adjust how I'm presenting myself to the recruiter? And what keywords do I need to include in my resume, on my cover letter, and LinkedIn to pass the applicant tracking system? This is where most people go wrong. They skip the prep work and rush right to the resume and then end up being stuck in the job market. And one of the biggest mistakes I see law enforcement officers and veterans make every single day is waiting far too long to start preparing for the transition to the private sector. Don't let that be the case for you. Right now, it's more important than ever to invest in your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your cover letter, because these are almost always the first impression that opens doors for you in the private sector. I'll continue to make videos on optimizing all three of these different professional items that you need for your job search process in the coming weeks and months and years ahead. But for now, I have to say, looking at LinkedIn and other platforms in recent months and years has become very depressing, with thousands of candidates sharing their struggles and their stories in this job market. Many are coming to the point where they can barely afford their rent or mortgage and other expenses because they haven't had a job in so long. And that's exactly why I created the Heroes Academy. Heroes Academy is the first of its kind job search training program built exclusively for law enforcement officers making the leap into the private sector. Inside the academy, you'll learn how to do the following things, including how to write a resume that gets past AI filters, translate your experience into corporate language, optimize your LinkedIn to attract recruiters, prep for interviews with confidence, build a network that actually works and helps you propel in your career, and so much more. Here's a quick peek inside one powerful lesson inside the course, where I share how to successfully craft the professional experience section of your resume. So let's take a look. So start with your current or most recent job first and go backwards from there. For each position you've held, follow this simple structure. First, start with the basics. That's the organization's name, the location, dates of employment, and your job title. Keep it clean and consistent. I like to use this blue colored line to highlight the organization that you were with. You can see the line right here. Write the name of the organization, the location. I just do city and state, which is fine, and then dates you have been with that organization. If you have held numerous positions with your agency or organization, you will put the dates for each position down below as well. For example, let's say you worked for the Huntsville Police Department in Huntsville, Alabama. You would write down that the location is Huntsville, Alabama, and then the dates you would put down that you've been with the organization from, let's say, January 2020 until present, which means you're still employed there. There's no need to list the exact date that you started or ended with them. The month and the year are totally fine. If you've already left your last job, let's say you're unemployed or retired, you would put the end date where it currently says present. So put the date where you finally ended. Then below the colored line, you would put your first job title. Let's say you were a financial crimes detective. If this is the only role you've held with your agency, then you are all done with this title part. However, if you have held other roles before being a financial crime detective, you will want to put the dates that you were in this position. So let's say you got promoted from being a police officer to the financial crimes detective in January of 2025, and you're still in the financial crimes detective position. You would write down January 2025 to present. Then later on in your resume, you would do the same thing for your time as a police officer, and you would put the dates you were in that position as well. Next, you're going to use bullet points to highlight your achievements and major duties. I see far too many candidates using paragraph format for the professional experience section. I strongly advise against it. Big block of text is tough on the eyes and overwhelming for a recruiter when they look at hundreds of resumes a day. The last thing you want a recruiter to think when they are looking at your resume is, oh crap, do I have to read all that? And trust me, I have felt that before. Bullet points are just far more easy on the eyes, they're easier to consume, and they're easier to really highlight your significant accomplishments and job duties. When doing your bullet points, I like to use the CAR method for the bullet points in this section to help paint a miniature picture of what you've accomplished. And CAR stands for, the C is for challenge. What was the issue or task you were faced with? A is for action. What steps were taken to solve it? And then R is result. What happened as a result of your efforts and your actions? So here are some examples that you might want to consider for your own resume. Led over 15 investigations, securing full restitution for victims within 4 weeks by leveraging forensic tools and interagency coordination. Or you could say, partnered with regional law enforcement agencies to dismantle a retail theft ring, resulting in 12 arrests and a 60% drop in related incidents. Or implemented a case tracking system that improved documentation accuracy by 40% and reduced investigative time by 20%. You probably noticed that for each of these bullet points, I had some data, number, or metric in the bullet point. And that's step 3 of this process. Quantify achievements whenever possible. Numbers tell the story faster than words ever could. They show the reader what you have accomplished by using specifics, not vague generic phrases, which is what most candidates do. If you can measure it, you should absolutely include it. So here's a weak example for what you could write on your resume. Conducted financial crimes investigations. Pretty weak, right? Again, cool, but again, there are thousands of detectives, investigators out there doing the exact same thing. What makes you different? Why should the reader care about you? Why should they spend more time on you? So here's a much better example to basically the same thing. Investigated over 25 felony criminal cases annually, resulting in the recovery of over $500,000 in misappropriated funds. See how much better that sounds? Remember, most recruiters and hiring managers have absolutely no law enforcement background. In fact, the closest thing they've ever come to doing, to be similar to what we've done, is watching live PD while sitting on their couch. Many of them think officers are just kicking down doors and tackling bad guys, and that's all they think about when they consider a law enforcement officer and what they do. It is our job to showcase how much more you bring to the table than just a tough guy kicking down doors. So, what did you think? Amazingly, this is just one small part of one of 47 different lessons. Each lesson consists of a video training, a written lesson for those who prefer to read versus watching or listening, downloadable resources, checklists, templates, and more. In each lesson, I also include audio versions of each lesson for those wanting to listen on the go or even in their cruiser while they're out on patrol. This academy is about more than just landing a job. It's about building a career that honors your service, your skills, and your future. And right now, I'm inviting you to become a founding member of the Heroes Academy. Joining the waitlist costs you absolutely nothing right now, but will get you early access to the Academy and save you 20% off any of the 3 tiers. So you can choose from the core version, which includes the entire Heroes Academy, or maybe the premium version, which includes the Heroes Academy and lifetime access to a fantastic and private community called the Heroes Community. In this community, I'll be hosting weekly live coaching calls, office hours, and I'll be sharing exciting opportunities in the job market. You'll also get a personalized resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile review from me, myself, and I. Finally, the platinum version includes everything from the premium version, but you also get 2 private coaching calls with me, and I'll personally write your resume, your cover letter, and optimize your LinkedIn profile for you. So it's an absolutely amazing value. All you have to do to join the waitlist is click on the link below, or go to recruitingheroesllc.com. You'll be the first ones to know when enrollment opens, and you'll lock in that 20% discount. You served with honor, and now it's time to take the next step. And I'll be right there with you every step of the way. As always, remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel, and stay safe out there. It's a crazy world. I want you all to stay safe, and I thank you so much for your years of service. I'll see you inside the Heroes community and Heroes Academy, I hope, but I'll also see you on the next lesson here on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and wherever else you're watching this video. So stay safe, guys, and I'll see you very soon.